Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thanks for being here. So this is another timeless reading that's for somebody out there. My intention is that it will find the person or people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not meant for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges is not resonating with you, it's probably not for you. You can still watch the whole reading because it's always an intention of mine that anyone who is drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it. Whether that's an insight, a bit of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you are here, I think you're meant to be here. All right, we'll get started. We'll just do our love pause first. This is where we pause the video and send some love out into the universe. You can also do a little Ho'oponopono prayer instead, and that involves saying the 4 sentences. Thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. Thanks to everyone who does do the love pause. So we'll pause now and I'll start on my reading on the next slide. Okay, so this is our spread for this reading. If you're interested in decks that I've used, I'll have them listed in the description box. All right, so the cards at the bottom of the deck are the 5 of Cups, and immediately under it at the bottom of the deck we had the Wheel of Fortune card. Now the 5 of Cups is actually a card of disappointment, but the image on this card is actually quite lovely. And with it coming with the Wheel of Fortune card right under it, I feel quite good about these energies actually. So in terms of what I'm seeing, I'll just start with what the 5 of Cups normally looks like. And it's normally someone who's sort of on the ground, upset, crying because 3 of their cups have fallen over. So they're crying over what they've lost and they're really not noticing the 2 cups that are still okay. In this card, though, we have someone who is standing up. Their attention is on one of their bowls in this image that has survived, and in this bowl there's a little fish swimming in it. And then at their feet they've got sort of behind them, sorry, they've got this other bowl that has also survived, and it has 2 fish in it. So based on the normal image, I'm going to say that if this person was initially disappointed about their loss, they've actually picked themselves up and dusted themselves off, and they're now just looking quite grateful that they're okay and that they have these 2 bowls and that their fish have survived, their fish are okay. So they've accepted the loss that was suffered. They know from this point on they'll have to rebuild, but they're in the present and they're focusing on what they've got with love and gratitude. And the image itself is also reminding me a little bit of the Temperance card because she's sort of standing at the water's edge and looking a little bit angelic there. So that's a nice energy too, because Temperance is a patient, calm, balanced kind of energy. And the other thing I'm noticing in this image is a lot of spirit guides on this card. So she might not see them, but she's definitely not alone. She has a lot of support from her spiritual team is what this looks like. Now, the next card, as I said, is the Wheel of Fortune, which is a Jupiter card. And this card is about fate, luck, change of fortune. And it's also one I can, I tend to associate with divine timing as well. So this card is about big, life-changing things unfolding. So it's a good combination because we've got someone who's, ready to rebuild, and then, this thing comes in. The card in the past position, I sort of am seeing it relating to that 5 of Cups, but this is the 4 of Cups. So, and that's normally someone who's unsatisfied about their current circumstances. Again, the image on this card is a little, what's the word? It's slightly different. It's not showing someone who's looking sort of glum and uninterested. It actually looks like someone who's sort of daydreaming. So there's a mermaid lying there, perhaps daydreaming about something better. And I guess tying into that 5 of Cups, this could well be, as they're rebuilding, perhaps they don't really know what to aim for, so they're sort of trying to envision that. And the card in the present position is interesting because it's the Knight of Cups, and the reason I'm saying it's interesting is because the images actually are telling a story together. So in the traditional 4 of Cups image, there's actually a cup that's being offered that the person isn't seeing. But in this 4 of Cups, that cup isn't there. So we just have that mermaid daydreaming, but she's not actually being offered anything. But then in this Knight of Cups card, there is a cup, and then and we're seeing someone heading for the cup. So that's the knight moving towards the cup. So it is different to the traditional Four of Cups, as I said. So even though this person was ready to rebuild, I feel like there wasn't really anything for them to consider aiming for. So they were kind of at a pause, I think, like having lost what they had lost, like what is the next thing and what do I aim for? And so, oh, I just got manifestation in my head. So yeah, so I think that daydreaming that they were doing is it was their manifestation process. So they didn't have anything to move towards, but they were daydreaming, thinking about what could come for them. Um, and so, yeah, they have manifested this cup. I'm saying that's here in the present that they can move towards. And we did have Wheel of Fortune, so I feel like this is the perhaps the life-changing opportunity that's showing up for them in divine timing. Um, so yeah, interesting. But then it gets, this is where I got a bit challenged with this spread because there were a couple of cards, and the future card is one of them. There are a couple of cards where I was just really kind of pausing for a bit looking at them. But the card in the future position is the Seven of Wands, and I will pull a clarify for it if I think I need to. Sometimes my guides will get me through it, so I'll just see how I go. But this is the Seven of Wands. It's normally a card about defending what matters to you. The interesting thing in this image is there are like two parties taking each other on, and I'm actually getting defensive energies from both of them. So one looks like a fox, and it looks like it's defending its family, and the other one looks like a badger, and badgers, of course, tend to be quite fierce when they're feeling threatened. Um, so it's interesting. I think what I'm getting here is there's some kind of battle, but it's hard to know who's in the wrong or if anyone's in the wrong because to me it just looks like both parties are just feeling threatened by the other being there. So, um, yeah, so that's what I'm getting. So there's some sort of conflict, I think, in the future position. And the other card in this spread that was kind of a little bit weird for me was the Oracle card that's titled The Dragon's Lair. So I do think these cards are related because there's some sort of complex energy that I feel relates to those two cards. Now in that card there's a dragon that's flying to the dragon's lair, but the dragon's lair actually looks like a fairly hostile place. It's kind of cold and frozen over. And then when you look towards the bottom, you see what looks like a pair of red glowing eyes in this cavern at the bottom. And actually, as I'm staring at it, I'm seeing another pair of eyes there too, and they don't look too friendly either. So I just feel like this person is perhaps going in the direction of what they want, but they're going to be running into some hostility when they move into that area. So that might not be something they're expecting because they've just seen this wonderful cup and they're heading for it, but it's not going to be smooth sailing is what it looks like. There is going to be conflict, so I'm getting that if this person wants the thing they're going for, they will have to take on these others who will be challenging them. And that's not to say those are bad people. I don't get that sense from that Seven of Wands card. I think it's just that this person showing up perhaps poses a bit of a threat to others. It might sort of threaten their territory, or it threatens their livelihood or their security, something like that. So not the nicest card for the future position, but I suppose it's saying that this person will have to fight for what they want. So the future's not going to happen like in a straightforward kind of way. They have to be prepared to fight for it. I think my guides must be thinking I'm taking this too seriously because I just got that this is a minor arcana card. So yeah, that makes it less of a big deal from a big picture perspective. So when you're talking about major arcana cards, they're major life events and major life stages. The minor arcana are obviously not that. So I think the Seven of Wands, it's not a nice energy, but it's not something that can't be handled, and it's not something that's going to drag on. Drag on, dragon. All right. And I'm also drawn to the fact that the Dragon's Lair card is also a number 19 card. And in the tarot, 19 is a great number because it relates to the Sun card. So even though this card's image is cold and hostile and unwelcoming, I am feeling that what this person is going for, this cup that they're wanting to go for, it's actually going to bring a lot of joy and positivity, which is the message that we get with the Four of Cups, is that that's the cup this person needs in their life. So it is going to be a good outcome, but they've just got to get through some challenges. I get that the prize is definitely worth it. So the butterfly card is actually from a deck that's about life guidance. And I love that the card we got is the butterfly breakthroughs. And the keywords on this card are solutions, victory, and overcoming obstacles. And that's great if we're talking about challenges in the future for this person. So it looks like this person will overcome the challenges in their way. The crystal associated with this butterfly is golden calcite. So if you're resonating with this reading and you're into crystals, that might be a good one to work with. I suspect this is the same as honey calcite, which is useful for the solar plexus and sacral chakras, but I think it's also good for the crown chakra, which is a bit of a surprise. I think when I was pulling cards, I must have been feeling drawn to clear quartz because that's the one I've actually put in the spread. And now that I think about it, maybe I did know I need help with those two cards in the spread. Clear quartz is really good for mental clarity. But I think what I'll do is I'll try and digitally insert a picture of my honey calcite. So you might be seeing that right now. Now, I'm not sure they're the same crystal, honey calcite and golden calcite, but they have to be close because the colors look very similar. Anyway, hoping to improve the energies coming through with this reading there. Now, just one more oracle card to go, and that is the full moon in Aquarius card. In terms of timing, that full moon's going to happen in Leo season. So if there's a timing, we're talking about August. And I'm just going to go look up the date, so just give me a second. Okay, so I just looked at the date, and it's the 9th of August. And the thing that got me is that's actually going to be happening during the time of the Lionsgate portal, which I think runs roughly the first 2 weeks of August, maybe starting end of July. So that's an active period energetically. So maybe that particular full moon is going to have some significance with that being the 9th of August. So we'll see. But the message on this card is show the world the real you. So there's basically this bold, fearless energy that's coming from that. And I guess if we're talking about Leo season and the Lionsgate, we might all be feeling a bit courageous at that point. But this is being courageous enough to be unabashedly ourselves. So that's good. And I just thought of the dragon. So the dragon's actually a formidable creature. So I think if it was required to show itself to the world, it would do that. I mean, it's not like a dragon can even pretend to be something else. It is a dragon. And I wasn't thinking about the dragon energy when I was talking about that dragon layer card, but it's coming up now. So maybe this is for someone who resonates with dragons, or they might be born in the year of the dragon in Chinese astrology. We just had a dragon year in 2024. So I guess if we're talking about people of adult age, we'll have to go back to 2000. And then it's 12 years cycle. So if you go 12 years back from that, you'll get the other dragon years. So 1988, 76, 64, and so on. And remember, the years are based on the lunar new year. So it's not January 1st to December 31st. It's actually, I think the lunar new year is usually between January and February. So yeah, if you are someone born in the dragon year, this could well be relating to you. And I think that's all I'm getting here. So that is our reading. And that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the reading. The decks, as I said, are listed in the description box, and that's true for all the videos I've done so far, so even the older ones. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed this reading, and of course, comments are always welcome. Thank you to everyone who is already subscribed. I'm really grateful for your support. And that's it. Take care, everyone, and I hope that I'll see you all in a future video. Okay, bye.